you did drop your first mock draft of the year yesterday. You had a quarterback going in the third round, Michael Pratt out of Tulsa. Tell us a little bit about that. Tulane, excuse me. Sorry. Where you see the Steelers go, or why do you see the Steelers going that way? What makes Pratt a good spot here in Pittsburgh?
So what was interesting about Pittsburgh is I don't think you can necessarily justify not taking a quarterback, considering how Kenny Pickett has been in a situation where he has just been injured every single year, and these injuries have continued to pile up, and it's almost different things every single year, and a lot of it is stemming from him just not protecting himself. And you need that to like, you can't have that from your potential franchise guy. And we don't really know what else he really is at this point too. So it's like, if you don't have a plan B at this point, you're shit out of luck. Like, I'm sorry, like you brought that on yourself. And but in terms of Michael Pratt, he's a guy who has translatable traits. I wouldn't say he necessarily has great spatial awareness in the pocket. He's just one of those guys who stands tough. And I think that's one of the big differences between him and like a Kenny Pickett. Underrated arm, though. I was a little surprised when I watched him like a few times this past week, and I was like, man, the ball jumps out of his hand a little more than expected. And he has a great feel for manipulating coverage, and I think he anticipates really well. He plays more of a modern, like, NFL type scheme. So I think there's a lot of translatable throws there, especially in the middle of the field, that encouraged me about like his potential prospects. Only thing, I don't think he goes third round. I think he's one of those guys after the Senior Bowl, you could see him maybe like in that early second round type area because I wouldn't be shocked if he ended up passing a guy like Bo Nix per se, because a lot of people point to Bo Nix's numbers and what he can do, but a lot of the translatability on the film is a little bit murky in that area. There's a lot of like very up and down play there. So I was more looking at a guy like Michael Pratt. I think I gave him a good start in this mock draft.
That's over Bo Nix. Bo Nix right now is like considered like possibly a top 15 pick in the draft. Peter King says he's the move for the Pittsburgh Steelers in the first round. You're saying Pratt goes that high, or you saying Bo Nix maybe drops that low?
I think it's more so Bo Nix probably drops that low, and it's not because like Bo Nix is like got character issues or anything like that. In fact, that's like one of the strongest things about Bo Nix is like intangibility wise. It's something that makes you want to bet on the guy. But when you go and look at the film, you realize the numbers don't quite add up. And like, we looked at Kenny Pickett's like 40 touchdown season with Pitt, and it was like impressive that he could lead his team. But obviously, like, you look at the translatable throws, the translatable like traits within the pocket. In some respects, Bo Nix has a little bit of that Kenny Pickett where he rushes his eyes and then he'll like go off platform unnecessarily, and he doesn't quite get to his backside progression as much as he should, or he rushes the front side progression and then gets to the backside too soon, and then he panics. And like, I don't like seeing that as much in a quarterback. It's a little frustrating, but I will say, great, really good arm strength, can manipulate his arm angles. He's a tough runner. I like him, but I don't want to bet on him, if that makes sense.
Yeah. That does make a lot of sense. It's that's you hear that analysis, you hear that breakdown of Bo Nix, you will get a little shaky as a Pittsburgh Steelers fan just watching Kenny Pickett over the last year and seeing how that has become an issue. I think Steven's facial reaction and my facial reaction said it all once he said that. Is whoa, didn't expect that one. Check out the whole mock draft, 3-round mock draft at allsteelers.com. Still out there, still front page. Make sure that you go check that out. There's also a pretty big center that heads to Pittsburgh in the first round, so you're going to want to check that thing out.